Okay, so here we go again with another example. Really, the only way to get good at derivations is to see a lot of examples and to work through a lot of examples yourself. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. Again, what we're doing here is we're evaluating an argument. So we're going to assume the premises of the argument and see if the conclusion of the argument can be derived from those premises. This argument, it's quite complicated. You can see it's a little bit hard to read. It's saying if P and not Q, then not R. If S are not R, then P, and if P, then not R or S. So you can't have one of these sentences without the other. And S and not Q. So how can we get to not R from these? Well, it should be fairly obvious that we're going to have to get P and not Q somehow in order to do that. And look, we have not Q here, so we should go ahead and take this line apart. You know, we should start unpacking our premises, because we can't do anything with this yet, and we can't do anything with this yet. We don't have either of these things, and we don't have the antecedent of this conditional. So we're going to have to start our work with line 3 here. It's the only line that we have that we can apply rules to right now. So we can use conjunction elimination twice on line 3 to get both of these things. And again, we have to keep track of where we're getting each line from, how we're getting the sentence on each line from the lines that came before that. That's really it's not actually technically a part of the derivation, but it's a very important thing to do, because you might be showing this, again, you might be showing this to somebody else to try to convince them of your reasoning, but also you just want to keep track of what you're doing yourself and make sure that each line in your proof actually follows from the lines before. Okay, so now what can we do? Well, we have not Q, so we have the half of this antecedent of this conditional that we're trying to get. We have to get P now. And we know that if S are not R is the case, then P must be as well, because they're linked by this material biconditional here. So what can we do? Well, we can use the disjunction introduction rule to get S are not R from S. Disjunction introduction, it's a rule that a lot of new students find a little bit puzzling. I talk a little bit about it in the slides. It allows you, given a sentence, it allows you to use to take a disjunction and add anything you want on the other side of that disjunction sign. So we have S, we're allowed to go from S to S are not R, or actually to S are anything that we want on the other side of that disjunction. And why is that? A lot of people, like I said, when they first start studying logic, they find that rule a little bit puzzling. It seems like we're just kind of adding stuff into the deduction for free. But the thing is that we're actually weakening this sentence by adding things after a disjunction, right? Say S was a statement like, I have cats, right? That's a fairly specific claim. If we change that to I have cats or I have dogs, that's a less specific claim. It's a weaker claim. And so we're moving here from more specific to a weaker sentence, and that's what justifies this kind of move. Okay. So now we have S are not R, and we can go ahead and use biconditional elimination to get P. So our line 7 is going to be P by conditional elimination on lines 2 and 6. Okay, so once again, our goal here is not R, and we can get not R if we have P and not Q. Well, how can we get P and not Q, the antecedent of this conditional? Well, we have both of them. We have not Q and we have P. We just need to link those together with the conjunction introduction now. Sorry, my ampersands are not always the best. So conjunction introduction is another rule that's always going to need two lines. And now we can finish this by conditional elimination on lines 1 and 8. And that completes our proof. We've shown that an argument with these as the premises and this is the conclusion is a valid argument, which is another way of saying that these sentences entail this sentence.